And hello everyone, and welcome to this week recap stream. So the days are getting shorter, winter is coming up, and so I hope you're ready and are tackled and buckled up for these cold days that are coming. However, if the days are cold, we have some very hot games today, trust me. Okay, so we're gonna straight jump into the game as soon as I fix the audio as usual. So there might be some connection issues because I'm having some troubles with my computer, but hopefully they won't cause any trouble to the stream. So let's move to the game. Alright, if it starts, I really hope it does. It's not. Oh, there we are. Okay, so why it's not moving to the game again? Oh, there we are. Okay, as I was saying, very hot games today, and we got a very interesting start here, as we have already told in the Discord channel. Exactly, Goat, a 7-0 victory, but let's go and and check it right up. Alright, so this was Hyton Hustlers against the Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL, which is Sword against Morales, and yeah, it's a 7-0 victory. I must admit, it's the first time ever I see something like this. And I mean it even against the AI, and I've played a lot of matches against the AI just for fun. So yeah, this must have been something incredible. You know, elves, but still. Okay, so we got 7 touchdowns, 0 deaths, 4 passes, 10 armor breaks, and 1 interception. Against the 0 touchdown, we got 2 passes and 21 armor breaks from Morales' side. So the MVP for the Hyton Hustlers went to Butch Cassidy, a 41 SPP's catcher. Then we've got on Morales' side another MVP, if I'm correct, on Manu Strong 007, which is the very skilled catcher with 136 SPPs. Okay, so moving on to the statistics, we can of course expect a huge ball possession from the Elves with their 62% of ball possession. We can see an 18% of possession of the ball onto Morales' side, onto his opponent's half. So he maybe managed to try and pick up the ball on while in defense, but yeah, there's not really much else to say about that. We can see 4 passes and 4 successful catches, with 1 also successful interception onto the Hyton Hustlers side, while we can see 2 passes and 2 catches onto Morales' side. Moving on to blocks, we can see the Yumi is actually doing good in the blocking game. However, Zord's block were way more efficient. So we got 25 blocks against 48, with the Hyton Hustlers dealing 5 KOs and 2 injuries, while on Morales' side we've got 48 blocks with 3 KOs inflicted and 5 injuries inflicted. Also, we can see a huge number of yards running, with 230 yards running onto Zord's side. Yeah, also Zord, I think, caused a self-casualty here, if I'm correct. Yeah, he suffered something by himself. Alright, moving to the SPP. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. No, Zord found time. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Finding it's like what, 1 touchdown every 2/3 turns. That's like a lot. It's huge. It's like getting ball, passing, running, scoring. Getting ball, passing, running, scoring. Whole of the game like this must have been horrible on Morales' point of view. Okay, so for the SPPs we got on the Hyton Hustlers, we got 8 SPPs on Butch Cassidy, 2 SPPs on Morgan Forg, so the Hyton Hustlers had Morgan Forg, that's something to keep in mind. There are 4 SPPs on Matt Ricochet, and we got 5 SPPs on Norberto Saluno, then we've got a huge 17 SPPs on Steve Sharper. 17 SPPs, wow. Then we've got onto Morales' side, we've got 5 SPPs on Manu Strong 007, 2 SPPs on Arnie Del Chasm, 2 SPPs on Euronymous Farhan, 4 SPPs on Ulmil Destructor, 2 SPPs on Catan Batan, and 2 SPPs on Baron Wolf. Moving on to the dice rolls. Okay, so we've got the Iton Hustlers, D6s. We can see 27 ones against 41 sixes, so very good, considering there weren't too many unbalanced casualties from both teams. We've got 8 successful catches, as we said. Get the ball, pass, score. Like that must be amazing. So we can see 8 catches and 1 failure on that. Then we got 24 successes on the dodges with just 2 failures. That's quite great from the elves. Then we got 5 successful pickups, no failures. We got 4 successful passes and 3 failed passes onto the elven side. Then we got a lot of armor break with 21 successes on the armor roll and 18 failures on the armor roll. So you can see the elven armor didn't really kept up during the match, but clearly it wasn't a problem. Out of those 18 failures, we can see 8 injuries. Then we've got 2 KOs getting up against 1 failure. And then we can see 8 GFIs working without any difficulty, so it's a 100% onto GFIs, not bad. And we can see that 5 of those 8 injuries were actually casualties, so pretty much bad casualty rolls on the Elven side. And then we've got 2 successful interception, as we said before. Moving to Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL D6s. So we got 21s against 24 sixes, quite average. You can see 32. So the Yumis had average dices, while I would say the elves got some very good dices, especially for dodges and GFIs. You know, those things that if you fail at the wrong time, you lose the match. So yeah. All right. So moving to the armor rolls. We've got 9 failures against the 12 for the Yumis, so a lot of human armor getting broken. Not like the elves. The elves had to deal with some more damage, but still. Then we can see just 3 dodges that were successful, and we can see 21 GFIs being successful against the 5 GFIs being failed, so just slightly below the average. We can see 5 successful catches from the Yumis and 3 failures. I would say that this game has seen the ball more time in the air than on the ground, and it's not an exaggeration. I wonder how long those were those passes, especially on the Elven side. Then we've got 2 failed injuries rolls. So there were just 2 injuries on the Yumi side with no casualties. So no real damage from the elves, but at least the dices were good for the elves to keep the Yumis out of the way. Hello, Fuiger, welcome. Yeah, we were talking about the 7-0 match from Erringzord and Morales. So yeah, that's great. That's just something amazing. I really want to watch the replay if I can get to that. Then we can see still from the Yumis 5 successful pickups against the 2 failures, and we can see 1 failed pass with 2 successful passes. We can see a lot of KOs, which went for a 5-5, so it's 5 failed KOs and 5 successful KO rolls. Then we've got Lightning Bolt, which probably struck the Yumis from Erringzor's side. And then we can see the Ogre not boneheading too much, just 3 boneheads, so percentage standard. We can see 50-50 on the loner trying to be rerolled, so it's 2 failures and 2 successes. And then we can see Dauntless not working for the Yumis in this match. Moving on to the blocking dices. So as you can see, the elves didn't really have to throw too many blocks. They were too busy with the ball, really. So we can see just 2 skulls against 10 pows, as we said before with the d6s. Very not good dices. No, sorry. Very not bad dices. Yeah, I'm getting confused a bit. So, and we can see 17 defender stumbles, which is great because Yumis don't have really that much dodge, and a lot of the buff downs as well. So let's see if there was anything too strange. We can see a 1 in 9 here not being rerolled, and that's it. So yeah, not even need to use the rerolls for this blocking contest. Moving on to the Sigmar Blood Knights, so we can see 5 pages of blocks and way more dices. We can see 18 skulls against 17 POWs with 13 buff down, 19 defender stumbles, which is quite a problem dealing with elves, and 44 pushes. So out of those 50 blocks we had seen before, when I said that Eringsword blocks were more efficient, that's probably what I meant. Okay, so we can see an aggressive reroll here from Smile013, which went into a POW. Nice for him. Then we can see a 1 in 6 being rerolled, which was just a push, so an aggressive reroll, which also went onto a POW. And then we can see another aggressive reroll with a Skull and Push being rerolled into a Defender Stumble and POW. Of course, he chose the POW. So a lot of aggressive rerolls, but also defensive ones. So we can see a 1 in 9 here being rerolled into a Defender Stumble, and we can see another aggressive reroll with a push Skull, yeah, that one, which went into a POW. Then another aggressive reroll, a double push, being a POW again, and then we get another aggressive reroll again, with another push Skull being rerolled into a Defender Stumble. And same thing, but with a push as a result. So I would say that the Yumis used basically almost all of the reroll aggressively, which you can expect it when you are not being able to even see the ball on a postcard. Okay, so as we said, 7-0 victory for the High Toon Hustlers against Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL. Like, you have to congratulate two Eringsor for this achievement. It's not easy, no matter what. Alright, so we are moving to the team development of these two teams. Alright, should be on screen now. Is it? I really hope so. Okay, so we can see an increase of fun factor for the Eringsor team of 1k fans, so it's now up at 8 in fan factor. Then we've got some injuries. We got an MNG on Matt Ricochet, we got one MNG on Darren Peacock Death, and then we can see an armor bust on Ryan Afraser, which is just a rookie lineman. And we can also see the level up on Steve Sharper, the guy which, if I'm correct, made 17 SPs on this match. Okay, Goat, I must admit I don't remember, so we will see later what happened to your team. Should I be scared? Okay, so I would say that that's it for Herringzor development. Very nice, getting 17 SPPs on just one piece in one match. Huge, especially on a catcher. Right, on to Morales' side. I'm sure there was something to report here. Okay, so no changes in fan factor, and we've got 2 level ups on the Ogre and the Blitzer, which we're going to review next week. And nothing much else to report, really. Let's see if there is someone else close to level ups. So, yeah, Rain Frederick, just as last week, block take lineman. Yeah, not really much else. Very, very close. I mean, some touchdowns here and there, but nothing incredible to report. Okay, so let's move to our prediction board. So while I try and get this up and running, I also want to say that if I get my connection disabled or something, it's mostly because my laptop is having some troubles with the Ethernet port. So if something moves the cable even just slightly, I'm out of internet. Alright, so let's see who got this match. Oh, there's the usual lots of names. Alright, so the winner of these predictions are Fiat Luxia, Anoraf, Draconius, Matevi96, Corbor, Foiger, and Beer Monkey. Congratulations for your points. I'm gonna assign them soon while I try and read the chat. I don't feel you need to be scared, my future opponents, though. Oh, okay, so that's some huge development on your side. That's nice. I'm now curious to see what your team and Olaf brings up. Alright, so for the points, we got Fiat and Anoraf, so I'm starting with you two, getting Fiat to 15 and Anoraf to 18. Then we got Draconius and me, so Draconius goes up to 13 and I got up to 17. Then we've got Korbor for Eager, so it's another point for Korbor, going up to 21, and for Eager going up to 9. Nice. Is everyone? No, it's missing Beer Monkey. So Beer Monkey going up to 18. All right. First table of the match, Korbor. I should have started calculating when Korbor started his like prediction streak, because he's on a streak. We have to admit that. All right. Sorry. Yeah. I have some drink with me to avoid the usual problems I had in the last weeks. All right. So these were the predictions for the first match, and let's move up to the second match. We've got, oh, okay, it's yours. We got Heroes of Time Forgotten against Action All Stars. Alright, so it's a 3-1 victory for Heroes of Time Forgotten against the Action All Stars, which is an Oraf against Draconius. We can see 3 touchdowns, 1 death, 33 armor breaks, and 1 expulsion on an Oraf side, while we got 1 touchdown, 0 death, 1 pass, 11 armor breaks, and 1 expulsion onto Draconius side. The MVPs went to Pwilich, a dirty player zombie, onto an Oraf side, and then we can see the MVP unfortunately going to a loner player, Grimr Audunarsson. I should be better at spelling Norse name than this. Anyway, so it's an MVP onto a loner guy. If I'm correct, he didn't even hire, so very unfortunate MVP there. Moving to the statistics. So we can see the Undead having great possession of the ball with their 56% of ball possession, mostly on the opponent's half. So I would say you manage to steal the ball in their offensive drive, in one of their offensive drive, considering there are 4 touchdowns in total. Then we can see a 25% of ball possession from Action All Stars, or everything, all of it onto the opponent's half. So he also took the ball. Mostly I just didn't stall. Okay, makes sense. Okay, moving to the blocking game. We can see 70 blocks from the Undead side against the 40 blocks on the North side. We can see from Heroes of Time Forgotten that there were 6 KOs inflicted and 7 injuries inflicted, a lot of damage. Onto the North side, we can see 2 KOs being inflicted and 2 injuries being inflicted with 1 kill. So very huge damage, not enough damage, but there's the kill. We can also see the Undead strangely running double the pace than the Norse, with an 88 against a 44. And also I would say that 6, 7. Okay, so there were also some chaos and casualties self-sustained by the Norse. Moving to the SPPs. Alright, so we got onto Heroes of Time Forgotten, we got 5 SPPs on Pwilich, 2 SPPs on Mudcrawler, 6 SPPs on Elmut the Unmatched, we got 2 SPPs on Kronar the Tyrant, 2 SPPs on Cranium Robber, 2 SPPs on Ben the Stiff, and 9 SPPs on Coffin Splitter. A huge amount of SPPs there. Then we got on Action All-Star side, 5 SPPs on Grim Alderson, 3 SPPs on John Wack IV, then we got 2 SPPs on Johnny Rocco Jr. and 3 SPPs on Gabriel Crush. Moving on to the dice rolls, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, so we got 20 ones against the 17 sixes. I would say not incredible dices for a 3-1 victory. Okay, so let's see how they went. We can see a 50-50 on the armors with 10 failures and 10 successes on the armor rolls. Out of those 10 failures, there were 4 injuries, which ended up in 1 casualty, I would say the death probably. And we can also see regen working ones and not working ones. As we said before, probably the death. Then we've got four SPP, sorry, we got four successful dodges against one failure, so good dodges from the undead team. And we can also see the chaos really not getting up for the undeads, with four failures against one success. We can see six successful GFIs with no failures, and we can see four failure on two catches, so a bit of difficult end-offs, I would say, maybe passes. No passes, just end-offs. Didn't go well. Then we can see one failed interception, nothing too scandalous, and then we can see six failed pickups against four. That's way worse. Then we can see one successful pass. Moving on to Action All-Stars dices. So we got 37 ones and 41 sixes, and we also have to consider that these fives, the 46 fives and 41 sixes, probably also went on his armor rolls and injury rolls. So not very great dices onto the north side. Balanced, but you know, when you have to deal with injuries, it's difficult. We can see, yeah, as we can see from the statistics, we've got 34 failures against 24 successes on the armor rolls, which is like at least 34 stuns if there were no injuries, but there were. So we can see out of those 34 failures, 13 were actually injuries, which ended up in 3 casualties. Then we can see 5 failed catches out of 7, and then we can also see 1 failed dodge out of 8. So yeah, the Norse had to deal with some difficult stuff here, mostly about the injuries. You know, you kind of expected with Norse being fairly fragile and not dodgy against the undead. Then you can see 3 KOs not getting up against the 5 successes, and then we can see 3 GFIs being successful and 2 GFIs being failed, so very, very below the average. We can see 2 successful chainsaws against 1 failure, probably the end of the chainsaw. And then we can see 2 successes on the loner rerolls. We can see 4 wild animal being successes with no failures, so the Yeti acted accordingly, and we can see 1 successful jump up without failures. We also have 2 successful pickups with no failures and 1 pass being good. Oh, there's another page. So we can see a lot of Dauntless failing, which is terrible for Norse against the undead. We can see 4 failed Dauntless against just 1 success. So I would say that, at least on the D6 side, Draconius had to deal with a lot of stuff. Moving on to the blocking dices. So we got exactly the same amount with 26 Skull and 26 Pows for Heroes of Time Forgotten. Let's see if there were any special reroll. So we can see 1 in 6 being rolled into a POW. Then we got a 1 in 9 being rerolled into a Defender Stumble. I don't think Draconius has any piece with dodge, so that was a hit. Then we can see a triple dice, which I don't know if it was happy or something, which was rerolled and it became a POW, so it was not. So it was an aggressive reroll. Then we can see another 3 dices being rerolled into a Defender Stumble, which is also another hit onto the Norse. And a lot of 1 in 9s being accepted there, so they probably weren't a problem. We can see a 1 in 6 being rerolled. Let me check if I would say it's this one. So yeah, it ended up in a Defender Stumble. And we can see, I would say, an aggressive reroll, which was a push into another Defender Stumble. So a lot of aggressive rerolls and normal rerolls, and they were worth it. Those aggressive reroll paid off with all the injuries we've seen. Moving on to Draconia's side, we've got 13 Skulls against 10 Pows. A lot of 1 in 9s being accepted, not a problem for Norse. And we can see a 1 in 36 being rerolled into a Defender Stumble and a 1 in 9 being rerolled, ending up in another 1 in 9. Anything else? Okay, so we got a 1 in 9 here. I would say probably an aggressive reroll, which ended up in a 1 in 36, considering the reroll. So it was a buff down that went to Skull. and also 1 in 6 being accepted at the end. Alright, that's it for the ICES. So this was Heroes of Time Forgotten against Action All-Stars, and let's go and see their team development. And of course I closed the folder. Just a second. Post-match, so there we are. Alright, for the team development of Heroes of Time Forgotten, we got an increase of 1k fans going up to 9 for an Orof team. Then we can see a very nice level up on the mummy with luck. That mummy actually rolled 12. Did I mess up some? Okay. Now I get it. So you rolled a 12, so you rolled double sixes on the level up, and you chose block instead of strength plus. I would honestly not be conflicted at all, because if you consider okay, so let's put it this way: your team is already highly skilled, so your team value is off the charts with this 1820 team value. Picking strand up here, considering that it doesn't really give you, yeah, I mean, you go with 3 dices, but having block is still more efficient, safe, and other terms I can't remember how to use correctly right now. So I would say that block is definitely the right choice for the mummy, and that's also a huge level up. Like you gotta block mummy with break tackle and guard. Like you have everything you need really. So this is a great one. Then we can see Coffin Splitter, the ghoul, which scored 9 SPPs this match, getting guard. So, yeah, you have 2 ball picking ghouls, one with guard. I'm more conflicted about taking guard onto a basically already ready piece for ball handling and ball management. I don't know if I would have taken guard, but if you can make it work out without your player getting destroyed, yeah, I mean, I know you got to, but still, when you have to compare it with team value management, I must admit it wouldn't be the choice I would take. That's pretty much it. Alright, and we can also see the death of Titus Hades, the dirty player zombie, which got AG Bust. We talked about him, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, um, saying that an AG Bust zombie with dirty player, sometimes it's not great because you want to dodge out to foul that very big and scary player that is on the ground. So that makes sense. Management, why would I need manage it? I can just bloat. Yes, I would say so. Alright, and that's it for Heroes Time Forgotten team development. Moving up to Action All Stars. So we can see no change in fan factor, and we can see Connor McLeod Jr. being MNG'd. So yeah, there's no real team development on the team. We can see Brian Kills Jr., the dodge sidestep runner, getting very close to his level up with just 2 SPPs missing, and we got also the new Wolf Werner 2 SPPs away from his first level up. Alright, and that's it for this match. Let's move on to our prediction board and see what do we got. Alright, so the winner of this prediction are... Oh, there's a lot of them. Not like before, but still. Erring Zord, Fiat Luxia, Anoraf, me, and Beer Monkey. Congratulations on your points. Let me just give you your points. So we got Erring Zord at 18. Then we've got Fiat Luxia at 16. And we got Anoraf and me. So Anoraf goes up to 19 and I go up to 18. All right, Anoraf, thank you for joining the recap, and I hope to see you next week. Otherwise, I hope to see you on Discord, and have a good night, a good evening, and enjoy the winter. Winter is coming. Get those nice, good cup of hot tea with you. Keep the body warm. You have to. It's very cold out there. All right, bye, man. See you next time. And let's see, did I miss someone onto our prediction board? Yeah, Beer Monkey, because it's always the last one on Discord. All right, so moving into 19. All right, should be everyone. Yes, it is. Moving on to the next match. All right. Moving to our third match of the week, we've got Red Bull Chorfing against the Dark Mode for win. It's a 1-1 tie between One Cheese team and Major Bite team. If I'm correct, almost nobody predicted that, and there's a very good reason for that. With elves being elves and chaos dwarfs being chaos dwarfs. So you usually expect the balance being broken from one of either sides. Alright, so we got 1 touchdown and 21 armor breaks for One Cheese team, the Red Bull Chorfing, and we got 1 touchdown, 1 pass, and 9 armor breaks onto Major Bite side on the Dark Mode for the win. We can see both of the MVPs went on to rookie players with 5 SPPs on to Hindi the Exchangeable, Rookie Hobgoblin, and the MVP on the Dark Mode for the win side going to Slack, which is a rookie lineman with 5 SPPs. Moving on to the statistics. So we can see on Red Bull Chorfing side having the control of the ball mostly with a 56% of ball possession. That's a lot of ball possession. You would say that they played defensively, built their usual cage, but still couldn't manage to be fast enough to score the 2-1 victory. At the same time, we can see a 31 ball possession from the Dark Mode for win, with a 25% of occupation of own half and 6% on occupation of opponent's half. So you would say that the elves really didn't have the ball for too long. They couldn't really get enough of the ball to score 2 touchdowns, but they just had enough to get the draw. We can see the Dark Elves throwing way more blocks than the Chorfs. That's kind of unexpected. So I would say there were some reckless dodging from the Dark Elven side. We can see, however, the Chaos Dwarfs blocks were way more efficient. So we can see I would say, starting from the Dark Mode for the win side, we got 48 blocks with 1 KO inflicted and 1 injury inflicted against the 36 blocks made by the Red Bull Chorfing with 7 KOs inflicted. So a lot of elves out, maybe they came back. All in all, probably not. As I said, usually you expect the balance to break out somewhere, and it didn't happen. Moving to the SPPs, so we got 5 SPPs on to Indie the Exchangeable and 3 SPPs on Smoke's Ghostbane. Moving on to Dark Mode for Windside, we got 5 SPPs on Slack, 3 SPPs on Firefox Developer Tools, 2 SPPs on VS Code, and 1 SPP on Reddit Night Mode. Moving on to the dice roll, we've got 30 ones against 22 sixes for the Red Bull Chorfing. Not bad dices, not great dices. We can see 10 failures against the 25 successes on armor rolls for the Chaos Dwarfs. So, 10 failures onto the Chaos Dwarfs, it's strange somehow. I mean, unless Major Bite managed to hit all the Hobgoblins, I would say something happened also to the Dwarfs as well. We can see that out of those 10 failed armor rolls, 3 ended up in injury. Then we can see one bribe working for the Red Bull chorfing. Then we've got 9 failed GFIs out of 13, so a lot of failed GFIs, very, very below the average with a 59% success rate. Very awful going for it for the Red Bull chorfing here. And we can see one failed catch. I would say that was probably a failed end off to Bull Centaur. Then we've got one successful dodge with no failures, and we can see 2 failed pickups and 2 successful pickups. We also have one failed casualty out of 4. So the out of the 3 injuries, there was one casualty. And also we got one successful KO getting up and one failed KO getting up. Moving on to the dark mode for the win. We can see more fair amount of dices with 18 ones and 18 sixes, and we have average stuff in the middle. Okay, well, just checking. We can see a lot of failed armor rolls onto the Dark Elves with 15 failures. So as we said before, the Chaos Dwarfs threw less blocks but were more efficient if we consider percentages. Then out of those 15 failures, we got only 3 injuries, so most of them were KOs. However, out of those 3 injuries, 2 were casualties. Then we can see about KOs, we can see a 50-50 with 4 failed KOs getting up and 4 successful KOs getting up. So statistically correct. It's considering it's a 4+ roll. All right. So then we've got 3 successful catches with no failures on the Dark Elven side, and we also have 9 successful dodges out of 11. So there were 2 failed dodges, statistically correct. We then see 1 successful pass with no failures, and 1 failed pickup and 1 successful pickup. And we can see 8 successful GFIs against 3 failed GFIs, a bit below the average. We then have the leap. We can see 1 failed leap and 1 successful leap. So before moving to the blocking dice, I would really say that these dice speak for themselves and quite indicate how the match went down and how it ended up being a draw. Alright, moving to the blocking dice. So we got 13 skulls against 7 pows for the Red Bull chorfing. We got a 1 in 9 being rerolled into a push. Then we got a 1 in 36 being rerolled into a pow. We got an aggressive reroll here with a push and both down, which ended up into defender stumble. And then we've got a 1 in 9 here being rerolled into a push. And 1 in, both down in 1 dice being accepted. Moving on to Dark Mode for win, we've got an aggressive, a what reroll here. I would say this was a uphill dice being rerolled since it's a pow, both down being rerolled into a push, basically. I'm going to check the dice later. And we can see a 1 in 36 being rerolled into a push. Okay, then we have an aggressive reroll with a buff down and push being rerolled into a defender stumble, not bad. And then nothing extraordinary. So onto the dark mode for the win side, we've got 9 skulls against the 16 pows, and we also should mention the 16 defender stumbles. So you can see that with less dices, the Chaos Dwarfs managed to deal more damage. Alright, that's it for this took a while, I must admit. I wasn't expecting that. So we can see the 1-1 tie from the Red Bull chorfing and the dark mode for the win. That must have been a very close match. Alright, moving up to the team development. which is coming very shortly. Is it? Just a second. All right. Is it opening? Okay, should be on screen. Yeah, it is. Okay, on to one cheese side, we can see a loss of fun factor going back to 10. Nothing to mention really. I'm quite sure we have the same players being close to level up as last week. We can see Max Ghostbane becoming closer and closer to being I think a star player goblin, because he needs just 3 SPPs for his 1, 2, 3, 4 for his 5th level up. So yeah, we are maybe going to see a star player of Goblin. Yeah, everyone else is people are people I've already talked about last week. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Right, moving to dark mode for the win side of team development. So for major bite, we can see alignment being higher the code notepad plus plus, and then we have a nice level up on VS Code, the Killer Blitzer, which is already strengthened up, and Mighty Blow getting Takeall, so ready to roll against all those stunty and dodge teams. Very nice level up. Nothing else to report here. Very well done, everyone. Moving on to our prediction board, usual prediction board. Yes. Let's see who got this one. So as I said, very few people. Yeah, the winner of this prediction is Beer Monkey. Congratulations for your very lonely point, which is great considering that you are competing for the lead. All right, moving up to our next match. 4th match of the week. We got the Got2 Eagles against the Minor Muppets. Alright, so it's a 2-1 victory for the Got2 Eagles. We can see 2 touchdowns, 1 death, 12 armor breaks, 1 explosions onto Got2 Eagles side. Then moving on to Manor Muppet side, we got 1 touchdown and 14 armor breaks. For the MVPs, we can see a very unfortunate MVP for the Got2 Eagles, since it's a death onto a rookie Underworld Goblin. So yeah, these are 5 SPPs that won't see the light of day. Then we can see a very nice MVP for Manor Muppets getting their level up onto his Ogre for 32 SPPs. Ogre which already has block and takeall. Right, moving to the statistics. We can see the Got2 Eagles having a great possession of the ball with 56% of ball possession. And then we have a 31% of ball possession from Manor Muppets. This pretty much explains the result, really. We can see the Got2 Eagles keeping the ball onto the opponent's self. So I would say there was some stalling there, some difficulties from the Yumis to manage to take the ball away from the goblins. Okay, sorry, there I am. Okay, we can see an even number of blocks, 33 against 34. We can see the Yumi's blocks being way more hurtful, with 3 chaos inflicted, 5 injuries inflicted, and 1 kill inflicted, against the Got2 Eagles 3 chaos and 3 injuries. However, we also have to take in consideration that the Got2 Eagles ran triple the time than the Yumis, with 112 yards running against the 34 yards running from the Yumis. So you can see the ball game was pretty much the focus of Got2 Eagles for this match. Moving on to the SPPs. Okay, so we have 5 SPPs on Yaroslav Navatril, 2 SPPs on Raymond Vandergo, 3 SPPs on Genobots, 4 SPPs on Mark Overmars, and 3 SPPs on Mark Spankeling for Got2 Eagles. Moving on to Manor Muppets, we got the nice 5 SPPs on Gonzo, 8 SPPs on Animal, 2 SPPs on Miss Piggy, and 3 SPPs on the Swedish Chef. Moving on to the dice rolls. For the Gatway Eagles, we got 24 ones against the 31 sixes. I would say that it's worth mentioning that the Gatway Eagles had 40 twos against just 18 fives. So a lot of twos to keep in mind while checking these D6s. Okay, so moving on to the armor rolls. We have 13 armor failures against the 12 successes. You expect that against the Yumis when playing a low armor value team. Then out of those 13 failures of armor rolls, there were 5 injuries, which ended up in 2 casualties. We can see really stupid, the really stupid roll failing 4 times out of 12. So not great, not bad, not great about his big guy. Then you can see 8 going for it, being successful, and 2 failures, so fairly standard. You can see 4 failed passes out of 6, so there were 4 failures and 2 successful passes. Then you can see bombs being thrown, dealing some damage with 2 successes and no failures. Then you can also see that the Godhead Eagles didn't really have their chaos back, with 7 failures against the 2 successes. Moving up, we have 1 failed catch and 1 successful catch. I would say out of those many passes that have been mentioned before. And we also can see 1 failed pickup out of 5, so there were 4 successful pickups and 1 failure. Out of dodges, we got 19 successful dodges and 5 failed dodges. I really don't know what to say about this dodge statistic because it's stunties and I'm really not experienced about them. We can see 2 chainsaws working out of 2, so the only 2 chainsaw rolls that were thrown during the match were successful. Moving to the Menor Muppets, we can see the Ogre not acting too much with 6 failures out of 15. So it's a 6 failure, 9 success rolls with a 16 percentage of success rate. Pretty bad actually, considering you just need to not roll a 1. Then we can see the impact of the bomb here, so I would say that he managed to take one of the bombs and throw it right back at the goblin, dealing some real damage, with 5 successful rolls on the bombs against the 3 failures. Then, for armor rolls, we can see the Yumi's armor holding up pretty much well, with 13 failures out of 37. Then we can see that out of those 13 failures, we have 5 injuries, which ended up in 4 casualties. We can see 1 failed and 1 successful catch. We can see a fireball being also thrown onto the pitch. We can see an interception being failed. I don't know if this is a bomb or something, before being thrown there. A very fiery game. Then we can see 3 successful dodges and 2 failed dodges. So dodges were also not great for the Yumis. We've got also GFIs were not great, with 5 successful GFIs and 3 failed GFIs. So I'm seeing a lot of below average dice here. I didn't check the dice, so I'm going to check it later. We've got 2 KOs not coming back in the game against the 3 successful KOs coming back to the game. And also we have a 50-50 on the board with 2 failures and 2 pickups being successful. As I said, I don't remember if I did the D6s here, so I'm going to say it again. It's 31 ones against the 21 sixes and average stuff in the middle for the Menor Muppets. As we have seen here, a lot of dices have been below average, and this kind of reflects the dices below here. Alright, so it's a 2-1 victory for the Gatway Eagles, congratulations, and we are going to see the team development of these 2 teams. All right, so we've got an increase in fan factor for the God 2 Head Eagles of 1k fans going up to 8. Then we've got a new Underworld Goblin replacing the dead called Makey and Gombo, replacing Yaroslav Navatril, the MVP of this match. Then we can see Vut Drosta being MNG. So even if they got beaten up pretty much during the match, there were no real huge issues here, except, losing the MVP is never great. Alright, moving on to Chubstep. So, Chubstep Team Menor Muppets lost 1k fans, going back to 7 in fan factor. We've got a new lineman called Ritz the Rat, which is replacing the retired Ritz the Rat, which was a wrestle lineman who got retired because of his movement bust. Then we also have Animal, the Blitzer that rack up 8 SPPs this match, which is an MNG, so that's kinda great for his next opponent, I would say, considering he's a AG plus pylon take all mighty blow block piece. And we also have a very nice level up on Gonzo, which is a guard, very normal and expected skill here. You know, there are some times where I like multi-block, not really, but still. That would have been too much, probably. Alright, so that's it for the two team developments. And let's move on to our prediction board. Corbor versus Chubstep. Alright, so yeah, for the Underworld against the Yumis. The winner of this prediction are Fiat Luxia and Beer Monkey. Congratulations. So Luxia going up to 17 and Beer Monkey going up to 21. Core board, you need to be careful. Beer Monkey is coming for you. Alright. Yeah, I'm checking to not make any mistakes. I would say that that's it. Yeah, sorry, I need a second here to make sure I'm not messing anything up. Alright, that should be good. Alright, moving on to our next match. Whew. Told you this was a not week. 4 matches, of course. Alright. So we've got Big Wolf Rescue against the Gruff Billy's Vendetta. It's a 2-1 victory for the Chaos team, Gruff Billy's Vendetta. We can see on Big Wolf Rescue side 1 touchdown, 6 armor breaks and 1 expulsion, against on Gruff Billy's Vendetta side 2 touchdowns and 11 armor breaks. We can see some very nice MVPs here with Alan the Barber getting close to his level up with 14 SPPs, Block Zombie, which probably is going to become a tackle piece later on. And we can see a level up on Jeremiah Clovenhoof with his MVP and 13 SPPs, so he racked up a lot of SPPs in this match. We're going to see that later. For the statistics, as you would expect from the winner, he's got 50% of ball possession, mostly on the opponent's half, so he managed to stall as well. The Necromantics had to deal with some chaos power here. They also had the Necros had a 31% of ball possession, so not they managed the classic 2-1 score, so nothing too extraordinary happened probably in this match. We can see 47 blocks against the 32 from Gruff Billy's Vendetta and then from Big Wolf Rescue. We can see from the Chaos side 2 KOs inflicted and 3 injuries inflicted, while on REBBL Llama's side, Big Wolf Rescue side, we got 1 KO being inflicted and 2 injuries being inflicted. Moving to the SPPs. So we've got 5 SPPs on Alan the Barber, 3 SPPs on Jeff the Plague Snatcher, 2 SPPs on Deal on the Dead, and 2 SPPs on Reinka the Champion for Big Wolf Rescue. Moving to Graf Billy's Vendetta, we've got 8 SPPs on Jeremiah Clovenhoof, 3 SPPs on Marrock Reborn, 2 SPPs on the Bondsman, 2 SPPs on the Shepherd, and 2 SPPs on Absolem Darkhorn. Moving on to the dice rolls. So for Big Wolf Rescue D6s, we've got 26 ones against the 28 sixes, and the usual stuff in the middle, so average dices, I would say. We can see 11 failed armor rolls out of 34. Out of those 11 failures, we can see 5 injuries, which ended up in just 1 casualty. Also, we have 1 regen working out of 3. We can see 2 KOs coming back right up with no failed KO rolls, and we've got 10 successful dodges against 7 failed dodges. I don't know if he tried to dodge with zombies and or flesh golems, so I don't know if those are bad dices or just pieces that shouldn't dodge but try to dodge. Then we've got 6 successful going for it against 2, so slightly below average, this happened. Then you can see 2 successful catches with no failures, 3 successful pickups with no failures, and 1 failed pass. Moving on to Graf Billy's Vendetta, the D6s, we've got 13 ones against 12 sixes, so very few dices if you consider how many REBBL Llama threw, almost double. So we got 6 failures out of 15 successes on armor rolls, so you can see the chaos armor holding up just enough to have the time and deal enough damage to the necros to not really have a contest anymore in the bashing game and being able to defend the ball for the 2-1 victory. We can see 8 successful dodges out of 10, so 2 failed dodges from the Chaos team. We got 4 successful pickups. We've got 8 successful GFIs out of 9, so great, normal. And then we can see 2 injuries out of those 6 failures on the armor rolls, which didn't end up in any casualty. We can also see 1 KO getting back up. Moving on to the blocking dices. So on Big Wolf Rescue side, we've got 12 skulls and 9 pows against 13 buff downs and 10 defender stumbles. We can see a 1 in 36 being rerolled, 1 in 9 being rerolled, 1 in 36 not being rerolled. Is there anything else? And another 1 in 36 not being rerolled. So there were a lot of 1 in 36s on to REBBL Llama side on this match. So something to keep in mind for the blocking game, which ended up in not being able to keep the ball or steal it. Moving on to Graf Billy's Vendetta side, we've got 17 skulls against 11 pows. Yeah, we can see 38 pushes, so not too bad dices. I mean, those 17 skulls are fairly not great, but I doubt he had to deal with the same number of 1 in 36s REBBL Llama had to deal with. So we can see an aggressive reroll here, which ended up into a push. Yeah, nothing else really. So there was just 1 reroll onto the fighting side. Is there any skull? I can see a lot of buff downs being accepted, but if I remember correctly, Graf Billy's Vendetta's team has a lot of block, so that shouldn't be a problem. Alright, so this was a 2-1 victory for Graf Billy's Vendetta. Let's move on to the team development of these 2 teams. Embarrassing silence. Okay, no. Okay, we can see on Big Wolf Rescue side, on REBBL Llama side, there was no change in fan factor, and we can see Jeff the Plague Snatcher getting sure hands on his only ghoul of the team. Very nice. It's a ball handler, you always need that. That's something I've learned after 3 seasons of REBBL, playing as an aggro coach. Whoops. Then we can see on Graph Billy's Vendetta side, also no change in fan factor, and we've got 2 level ups on Marrock Reborn and Jeremiah Clavenhoof, which we are going to see and review next week. Nothing else to report. Alright, so let's move to our prediction board. Alright, so Big Wolf Rescue against Graph Billy's Vendetta. The winner of this prediction is no one. Yeah, I kinda expected this because, you know, while I don't doubt Beer Monkey's abilities, Big Wolf Rescue had some real, you know, expectancies. I think it's the right term. You know, being one of the contestants for the ticket of the playoffs, seeing him losing here was definitely not something that people foreseen, and you can see why. Like, Big Wolf Rescue has a great and well developed team, didn't really take even too much damage or not damage at all in this match. So while I'm very, very badly phrasing all of this, what I'm just saying is nobody really expected Big Wolf Rescue to lose. We can see a draw, but losing was something no one expected. So congratulations to Beer Monkey for taking this trick out of the head. Yeah, that's definitely a rabbit you want to keep. All right, so we are moving on to our next match. Did I even say something that made sense there? I'm sorry. All right. Next match, if the games, sorry, if OBS allows me to take out the predictions. Okay. Hi, Foiger. I know you're looking there. I can see you're the other viewer. I'm not alone. Not alone. Oh no, they're going to DMCA me. I should not sing. All right. So moving up to our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th match of the week. It's Ratman Forever. Wait. Okay, yeah. Sorry. It's Ratman Forever against Ruffin the Ref. We can see Ratman Forever winning 3-0 with 3 touchdown, 1 death, 1 pass, and 9 armor breaks against 0 touchdown, 0 death, etc. 11 armor breaks and 2 explosion on Ruffin the Ref side, on the Goblin side. So for the MVPs, we can see an SMVP on Tzalk for the Ratman Forever, which is just 1 SPP away for his level up. Then we've got on Ruffin the Ref side an SMVP on Free Thief, which is a goblin who just level up thanks to the MVP, going to 17 SPPs. Moving on to the statistics, we can see a strange same ball possession with 25% of ball possession for each team, with not really not any special difference here. However, the Redman Forever, with their 25% ball possession, they managed to score 3 touchdowns. So congratulations on that. We can see 1 pass and successful catch onto the Redman Forever side. Then we can see roughing the ref, the goblins trying and hitting way more than the rest, but not really dealing any damage. On the other side, on Ratman Forever side, we can see 2 KOs being inflicted and 5 injuries being inflicted, even if they just threw 24 blocks. On Roughing the Ref side, just to be more specific, they had 36 blocks with 3 KOs being inflicted and 1 kill being inflicted. We can also see the Rats running more than double the distance. I don't get the term, sorry, with Roughing the Ref, yeah, that one. We can see 86 yards running on Ratman Forever side and 24 yards running on Roughing the Ref side. Yeah, my math is getting stuck again, I know. Oh, there's a lot of SPPs. Okay, so we got 5 SPPs on Tzalk, 6 SPPs on Nitzel Scuttle, 4 SPPs on Tritz, 6 SPPs on Zats, 1 SPP on Hihei, and 3 SPPs on Znabdk. Then we got 5 SPPs on Free Thief on Roughing the Ref side. So a lot of SPPs on Ratman Forever side. Moving on to the dice rolls. I really don't know what to expect here. We've got 21 ones against 19 sixes for the Reds. We can see 1 failed dodge out of 14, so very nice dodge rolls for the Reds. We can see 2 failed pickups against 4 successful pickups, and then we've got 9 failed armor rolls out of 30. So I would say that the red armor kept it up real good. So that must have been a nightmare for the goblins. Then we've got out of those 9 failures, we can see 5 injuries, which ended up in 4 casualties. Actually, I would say all injury rolls ended up in casualties. So yeah, that's a bit of damage, not too much, but still. Then we've got 2 failed going for it out of 12, and then we got 1 failed catch out of 3. We can see 3 chaos get 3. I'm getting sorry. I need to drink something. This should go better. All right. Let me check the chat. So we've got Fwigger saying outbashed, outplayed, Stella coach. I would say yes. For the second time in the stream today, I would really say yes. This was a fair beating you had to deal with. It's your team, if I'm correct, right? So we can see 3 chaos getting back up, as I was saying, and then we can see 1 pass being successful on Ratman Forever side. Moving on to Roughing the Ref. So for Roughing the Ref, we've got 11 failures on armor rolls, which ended up in 6 injuries, which ended up in no casualties. We've got 19 dodges being successful out of 23. So considering it's stunty, considering it's edgy free, I would say it's not that bad. Then we've got 1 successful catch, 2 successful bribes. We can see a 50-50 on the chaos with 2 failed and 2 successful. We can see 1 failed landing, so Gobbo was thrown and didn't stick to it, didn't stick to the landing. We can see 2 successful chainsaw and 1 failed chainsaw. Then we can see with the Underworld Trolls, if I'm correct, that should be their name, we can see 22 successes and 6 failures, so slightly below average, and it never helps when they don't work. You can see Always Angry being successful, so no Gobbo was eaten in that match, and we can see 2 failures on the throw teammates, so there was no successful throw teammate there. We can see 1 loner being rerolled successfully. We can see 2 failures on the pickups and 3 successful pickups. Then we can see onto the pro, it went to a 50-50, something you'd expect from pro, with 3 failures and 3 successes. About the d6s, there were 30 ones and 36 sixes, considering that some of these dice went on to his own armor and injury rolls. Sorry about that. Okay, so as we said, a 3-0 victory for Redman Forever. Let's go and check the team development. Hello Lama, welcome to the stream. Alright, so let's check here. We've got the team development for Redman Forever. We can see an increase of 1 in fan factor going up to 6, so it's a 6 in fan factor. Then we can see an MNG on Tzolk, the Gather Runner. Then we can see Nitzel Scuttle being hired before the match and then getting enough SPPs to get a level up, getting Wrestle, so it's a Wrestle, Dodge, Gather Running. got a runner, very nice. In this match, there was the death, Kreamut Squeak, which, if I'm correct, was a rookie lineman. I forgot to put the stuff here, sorry. Then we can see Liquid being retired, which was the triple wrestle gutter running who had the armor bust. So we can see why Nitzel's Scuttle here got wrestle. Nothing else to say. So moving up to roughing the ref on I was correct, yes, on Foiger team. So we can see no change in fan factor and a very nice level up on Free Thief getting diving tackle, which is always great on goblins. Then we can see two new goblins joining the bashing game with Stumpy Stew and Yellowbone. And Fuiger is just telling me that he has got a reroll. So, yeah, some team value management, very necessary, always useful, especially with goblins. Question is, why not also cutting Lispilary at this point? I think you have enough players to cut him off the team, to be honest, or Jonas the youngest, really, because you know they don't have any special anything to keep both of them on the team. In my opinion, you can cut off one of them. Your choice, of course. But still, if I was the coach here, I would cut off Lispilary, really, and just wait for more money come to come here. All right. So that's it for this team development. Let's move to our predictions. Yeah, I agree. I agree about working the math before the match. That makes sense. It's a tough decision to choose between one gobbo and something else based on to the team value for your opponents. I cannot open my prediction board. There it is. Okay. So let's see who won these predictions. It's Radman Forever against Ruffin the Ref, the Dusk Bunny against Foiger, and the winner of these match predictions are, oh wow. Okay, so the winners are Aaron Zord, Anoraf, Draconius, me, Corbor, and Beer Monkey. Congratulations for all your points. Now, as usual, it will take me a while to assign them. So let's start with Herringzord and Anoraf. Herringzord and Anoraf. It's a neck to neck here. Herringzord and Anoraf. Why I'm having troubles doing this. Okay. Then we've got sorry. as I was saying, then we got Draconius and me. Yeah, sometimes I just pen out when doing math. So Draconius and me. Then we got Corbor and Beer Monkey. Corbor and Beer Monkey. Just look at them. It's very close here. I love it. Okay. I must not get excited. I must stay neutral in this. Okay. So that's it for this match, I would say. Yes. All right. Moving up to the next match, which is the last one of the week, if I'm correct. Yes, it is. It's the Veronichromatic Necros against the REBBL Vaporwelves, the rivalry match, of course. I was waiting this match since last season. So, it's a 2-1 victory for the Veronichromatic Necros with 2 touchdowns, 16 armor breaks, and 1 expulsion. Then we can see on to Fiat Deluxe side, the REBBL Vaporwelves 1 touchdown, 1 pass, and 6 armor breaks. For the MVPs, not really great MVPs. We can see an MVP on Temujin, Scarcrossed, the 5 SPP Rookie Zombie, and we can see an an MVP on Loser 99, which is an injured, I don't know what injury is that, lineman with 9 SPPs. Let's move on to the statistics. But first, let me just a second. I need to check OBS because something is acting up. No, everything is fine. Great. So we can see a 62% ball possession for the very necromantic necros, meaning they kept the ball for most of the time and didn't really give the elves too much space for the ball game. Also, it ended up with 40 blocks against 16, with 5 KOs and 6 injuries inflicted against just 2 KOs inflicted. Then we can see 88 yards running against 18 yards running from the very necromantic negros against the REBBL Vaporwaves. I'm trying to stay neutral here, but I also have to say, having played the match, yeah, that was not fair. The game really wasn't fair on Fiatolox's side. He really suffered a beating there. Moving to the SPPs, we've got 5 SPPs on Temujin Scarcrossed, 6 SPPs on Bjorn Legacy Alexander, 2 SPPs on Gore the Butcher Cut, 2 SPPs on Skokurg Lowell, 6 SPPs on Frankie, and 2 SPPs on Wolfgar the Harbinger. Then we got on REBBL Vaporwave side 5 SPPs on Loser 99 and 4 SPPs on Vantage Right on Time. Moving on to the dice rolls. So we have for the very necromantic necros very few dice being thrown. We can see 10 ones against 9 sixes with 14 fives. Why do I say this? Because in general, as you can see from the statistics here, I was fairly lucky. We can see 2 failed catches out of 3. We can see 3 failed pickups and 3 successful pickups. We can see 6 failed armor rolls and 6 successful armor rolls. We've got out of those 6 armor rolls 2 injuries, which ended up in no casualty, I would say, because I don't see the casualty thing around here. Then we got 1 KO failing from getting up out of 3. We can see the chainsaw, so I hired the star player. You can see a failure on the chainsaw and a success on the chainsaw, so he played twice. We can see a loner being rerolled, so I'm quite sure I rerolled the chainsaw roll to make sure I still had the guy with me. The bribe went through for the chainsaw guy. Then we got 2 failed GFIs and 2 successful GFIs. So I would say that the only thing I wasn't lucky at were the GFIs. Then we got just one dodge being successful. Very few dices tried to keep it efficient, but I really didn't have to sweat it because of how the game went through, especially during the second half. Then moving on to the REBBL Vaporwaves, we can see way more D6s. We can see 31s against 43 6s with, I would say, average in the middle, but we also have to consider that these big dices also went onto his armor and injury rolls. So we can see 17 failed armor rolls with 16 successes, so it's below 50% armor success rate. Out of those 17s, 13 were injuries, which ended up in 6 casualties. We can see from the elves 31 dodges being successful against 9 failed dodges. Not great for elves, near the average, but still slightly below. We can see 9 successful going for it, with 2 failed going for it, perfectly standard. Then we got 3 failed pickups and 3 successful pickups. We can see 1 failed pass and 2 successful passes. We can see 6 KOs not getting up with 4 KOs getting up. Then we've got 1 failed catch with 2 successful catches and 3 chainsaw going through. A lot of chainsaws in this match. Moving on to the blocking dice, very different things from D6s here. We've got 16 skulls against 10 pows with 18 defender stumbles and 9 buff downs, 28 pushes in total. We can see an aggressive reroll here, which went to a defender stumble. Let me check if there's anything too suspicious. Oh, there it is. You can see 3 1 in 36s from the very necromantic necros, which were rerolled and ended up in a pow, in a push, and in another push. And then we got a 1 in 9 being kept from Azog the second. Is he still a player? I don't remember. Okay, moving to the REBBL Vaporwelves. Blocking dices, of course, it's like the opposite. He had more d6s and less blocking dices because I had more blocks and he did more stuff with the elves. We can see 5 skulls against 3 pows, and we can see 4 buff downs and 3 defender stumble with 13 pushes. We can see a 1 in 36 being rerolled into a pow, and some buff downs kept. And if I'm correct, Frankie doesn't have buff down. So they were both probably onto the ball or trying to deal damage. Alright, so it was a 2-1 victory for the very necromantic necros, and let's see the team development of the two teams as soon as I can fetch it. Nope, let's go in order. Alright. Okay, so we got an increase of 2 in fun factor for the very necromantic necros, going up to 6, and we can see Frankie leveling up and getting doubles and taking a dump off. Okay, so normally I would criticize this choice, but it was my own choice, so I kinda cannot criticize it. I can explain why I took it, because I hate ghouls. Yeah, that's pretty much the only explanation I have to say about this. I really hate ghouls, I don't like play them, I really hate the fact that I need to play them. I was basically forced to buy one at a certain point in my REBBL life, and so I just hope he dies horribly, but dumping off the ball to a very useful player like a werewolf. And then we can see Sariel the Deadeye being hired in the team, so I welcome him. I hope he doesn't die like all the other wolves I had. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the team development of the very necromantic necros. Moving on to Fiat. So we've got a lot of injuries here. So there was no change in fan factor, so no loss, which would have been a 2k loss in fan factor. And then we can see okay, let's start with okay, so let's just go in order. We got an armor bust on Nostalgia Corp, then we've got an MNG on Lakvatus Champion, the strength up AG up or plus as you prefer to say it, elf with also the other skills. Then we've got an MNG on LMC Liquidus, which is the strength up lineman, and we also have an MNG on Loser 99. So it was just an MNG, which meant it was a good MVP who rolled a double 6. So it's another strength up lineman. So for his next match, his opponent is probably going to be happy. However, if Fiat doesn't get too damaged in the next match, then I would say that he's up with still a great team in his hands with all this strength up and AGA plus and all the skills he has in his team. Also for the next match, he has a huge team value trev. So maybe, I don't know who he's playing against. However, you know, having the team value this low allows for some strategies with inducements. Also, he has a lot of cash if he hasn't spent it already on new players. Alright, so let's move to the prediction board. As I said before, this was a rivalry match, which means that whoever won gets 3 points instead of 1. Let's see who are the lucky winners. So the lucky winners of this prediction are Fiat Luxia and Foiger. Congratulations! These are three very sweet points that nobody got. So Fiat Luxia is coming back up to 20, very close to the leading players. And then we've got Foiger, which I cannot find for some reason. Oh, there it is, going up to 12. A very nice improvement, very close to Draconius, I would say. So let's check the prediction board for a moment. We can see Corbor and Beer Monkey being head-to-head for the Wise Seer title, a very ambitious title everybody wants. Then we can see, let's check, we got Fiat Luxia with his 3 new points, coming back in the game and ready for a new fight with the contenders. Also with Anorath being head-to-head for at least the 2nd place, if nothing else. We've got Eringzord trailing just behind with 19 points, and also me. Hi. Am I missing someone? Then we can see Draconius and Foiger now close for a competition. And then we also have everyone else playing for, you know, the fun and thrill of counting your own points, which is always cool. All right, so that was it for the predictions of this week, and we are going to check the leaderboard, see who is closer and closer to those sweet tickets, which I have already forgot in which categories are given. If I'm correct, the 1st place is the playoff ticket, and the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place are the Challenger Cup tickets, if I'm correct. So, situation didn't really change too much. We can see Big Wolf Rescue that despite their loss are still in 2nd place, and we can also see Wanchi being in 1st place even if he got a draw. So we can see this week the 2 main contestants for the playoff ticket didn't really suffer too much. However, that 1 point once she got from the draw kinda makes it more clear that if REBBL Llama wants that ticket, he needs to start winning, and someone also has to beat Wanchi at some point. I would guess statistically. Out of 13 matches, I don't want Nuffle to brandish whatever weapon he has and strike Wanchi's team. That's not what I want. But you know, it's just incredible seeing us. I would say no loss streak out of the whole season. I think it has already happened. I'm sure it has already happened. However, seeing it with my own eyes, it's like incredible. I mean, it's Chaos Dwarfs, but still, it's not an easy feature considering luck. Then we've got Anorath. That's probably the biggest thing to consider here. We got Anorath going up to the Big Wolf Rescue, thanks to this week's match. So it's a 4-1-2, just like REBBL Llama. So they are both very near to Wanchi's lead. I need, if someone wants to start making the math, I can say this. If someone, no, I cannot. Okay, if someone wants to make the math for this and start calculating percentages, probabilities, and stuff, I would gladly put everything on stream. Then we've got the Dusk Bunny trailing just right behind with his 3 win, 3 draws, and 1 loss. If I'm correct, it's still a Challenger Cup ticket. I should really check REBBL.net as soon as I can. Then we got Herringzor team trailing just behind Dusk Bunny with 3 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. I would say this is the main show. I would say the 5 competitors who are most likely to get a ticket out of everyone. Also, Beer Monkeys, yes, only 1 loss which means that one victory from now on would make him get to a good spot for the ticket. So really, it's really open here. Moving to the mid-table, we've got Chopstep with his 3-1-3 record, and then we go down to Major Bite with his 2-4-1. There's the very necromantic Necros in a ninth place with 3 wins and 4 losses. I really cannot get a draw apparently, which is quite the opposite of a season I had in the past, which were almost all draws. Then we've got Fialuxia just trailing behind after this week's match with a 2-1-4, and which is the same of Frigger, who also has a 2-1-4 streak. Why I say streak? It's a record. Sorry. And we got to Ed Eagles, Corbor's team, which is going for a 1-3-3, together with Draconio's team going for a 1-3-3, occupying the 12th and 13th place of the leaderboard. You know, at this point, I really doubt they can catch up to get a ticket. But still, it's always, you can win everything, of course, but what you should focus more on is, usual stuff like developing your team and never give up hope for the next season if this one doesn't go right. Like, that's what I have done with my many losses team. Then we can see Morales' team with 1 victory and 6 losses at the end of the table. So yeah, that's the situation right now. As I said, these 6 people here, 5 to 6 people here, are the one to keep your eyes on if you're interested in seeing who is going to get a ticket. Also, Chubstep has a chance, a very concrete chance if he starts winning a lot. Also, Major Bite. We can see Major Bite with 4 draws, so not too many losses, which means that when you have so many draws, if you start racking up victories, then you can get up. And that's pretty much it for this week's stream. Yeah, I agree on that. So it was a pleasure as always to recap for my division, the division I'm playing in. It's always a pleasure seeing you guys tuning in to the stream, seeing the comments, seeing the comments post recap on Discord. I really do enjoy doing this. And I cannot say how grateful I am to just be part of this community. This being said, I hope you had a great week. I hope you are going to have another great week next week, and I hope to see you again soon. So stay tuned for a next week recap, which I hopefully will do still on Thursday usual time. And there's really not much to say again. So thank you for watching the Division 4B REBBL GMAN Season 15 recap. I just mixed up all the things, it's fine. And see you next week. Bye bye!